Hello, welcome back to my channel, and welcome to another bookish video. In this video, I am gonna be doing my first book unhaul. I own over 1,000 books, and there has been some that I have owned for a really long time and have not gotten to yet, and I don't think I ever will. So I am all for trying to unhaul books. I love watching these types of videos, and so I wanted to go ahead and make my own unhaul video, because it is time to get rid of some of the books that I probably won't pick up again, or ones that I probably won't ever pick up. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into this video. I am very excited to show you all the books that I plan on unhauling, and I will also be putting these books up on my Pango, which I will link down below, so that if you are interested in any of the books that I show you, you can go ahead on Pango if you want and choose, and maybe you will like these books better than me or actually enjoy them more than I will. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into the books that I plan on unhauling. Okay, so the first stack of books I have are all my book of the month books that I plan on unhauling. Some of these I have not read, and some of these I have, and I just either did not enjoy them as much as I wanted to, and they weren't a favorite, so I'm not gonna hold on to them, and I don't plan on rereading them at all. And then others I just have no interest in reading anymore, unfortunately. So yeah, the first two I have is Wicked Saints and Ruthless Gods. And actually, this is the book of the month version. This one is not. But I'm unhauling these because I just don't have a huge interest in them anymore. And I also heard some iffy things about this author. And I just have no interest in reading these. I also have heard just mixed reviews on these books. So yeah, that is why I am unhauling these. Okay, the next book I have is The Last Summer at the Golden Hotel. I read this, I think, a couple years ago. And it was an okay book. It wasn't bad. I think I gave it 3 stars. I just don't plan on ever rereading it, and like I said, it wasn't a favorite, so I am going to unhaul it. And then the other book I have is This Time Next Year. I actually tried to read this at the beginning of this year, and I actually DNF'd it. And I do not plan on trying to pick it back up again. So it's a contemporary romance, and yeah, it was putting me in a reading slump, and I just have not had any interest in picking it back up, so I am going to be unhauling it. Okay, the next 3 are all by Lucy Foley. I have The Guest List, The Hunting Party, and The Paris Apartment. I gave The Guest List 2 stars, so it was my least favorite of the 3. The other 2 were 3 stars. I think The Paris part was like 3.5, and then yeah, this was like 3 and then 2 stars. I don't plan on rereading them, and they weren't favorites. And as much as I really love this cover, so I'm very sad that it wasn't a favorite. But yeah, I want to make room for maybe more books, and I just have a lot of other books on my shelf. that I'd rather keep. So I am going to unhaul these, unfortunately. All right, the last book of the month book that I am unhauling is The Four Winds by Kristen Hanna. And the only reason I'm unhauling this is because I already have another copy of this. So I don't need a second copy. So yeah, I am going to be unhauling this. I still have yet to read a Kristen Hanna book. I actually tried reading The Nightingale like a few years ago, and I put it down because I wasn't in the mood for it at the time. But I do plan on picking that up because I've heard really good things about her books, and I do really want to read that one. But yeah, like I'm only unhauling this one because I already have another copy of it. Okay, so on to the non-book of the month books that I am unhauling. First one I have is Paper Towns by John Green. I have only read The Fault in Our Stars by him. And I love that book. Back when I read it, I think I read it back like around when the movie came out as well. And yeah, I love that book. And I tried getting to this around like a couple of years after I read The Fault in Our Stars, and I just could not get into this one. And so I have no interest in trying to pick it back up. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and unhaul this. Next one I have is Tiny Pretty Things by Sona Chirapotra and Danielle Clayton. I am so sorry if I butchered those names. I just have no interest in reading this anymore. I think it's like a mystery, kind of like thriller, like YA, young adult, like takes place in like a ballet school. But yeah, I just have no interest in reading this anymore. And I know there's also I think it's a Netflix show or movie, so I might just try to watch that instead. But if you think the book is worth it, let me know. Maybe I will give it a shot, but I most likely will just unhaul it. And then the next book I have is Perfect Chemistry by Simone Uckley's. I've had this on my TBR for a really long time, and I've just put it off for way too long, and now I just have lost interest in it. It's a YA contemporary romance. And yeah, I don't know if I'm interested in reading this anymore. So I am gonna go ahead and unhaul it. Alright, the next book I have is Still Alice by Lisa Genova. I read this 2 years ago, or like about 2 years ago, and it was a pretty good book, and I think it definitely is very like eye-opening on like Alzheimer's and like dementia, and it was a very like sad book, and it definitely was a good read for me. Working in like assisted living and working with like in a memory care facility. So yeah, it was definitely a like really good read, and like definitely opened my eyes on like the mind of someone with like dementia. And it was a good read. I just it wasn't a favorite of mine, and I think this is a good book that I want to get into other people's hands, so I will go ahead and unhaul it, and hopefully someone else will enjoy and have an eye-opening book that they can read. The next book I have is Eve and Adam by Michael Grant and Catherine Applegate. I think this is like a YA contemporary book. I don't know a whole lot about it. I just remember I think I got this like on a book outlet like like sale like a long time ago, and I just have not picked it up yet, and now I just don't really have any interest in reading it. And I haven't really heard much about it, so I am gonna go ahead and unhaul this one. And then the next I have is a series, and that's the it's Ruby Red, Sapphire Blue, and Emerald Green. I read Ruby Red last year, and it was just okay to me. I think I gave it 3 stars, and so that's not like, it was not bad, but I didn't like it enough to want to continue the series. And so yeah, I am gonna just go ahead and unhaul these 3. If you have read this whole series and can let me know if the series gets better, maybe I'll give the second book a chance. But yeah, if I don't see anybody like saying it's worth it or not, then I am definitely going to be unhauling these. All right, the next 2 books I have is Flowers in the Attic and Petals on the Wind. I bought these after watching the movies. I think they were on like Lifetime Movie Network like a long time ago. And so I bought them thinking I'd read them because I saw the movie and was interested in reading the books. But then I never picked them up, and now I just don't really have interest to. So yeah, I think I'll just stick with the movies being watched. They weren't like horrible movies, but they were definitely interesting. But yeah, I just have no interest in picking up the books because I think I definitely understand like the gist of like the story, and and maybe you can convince me to pick these up, but yeah, if not, I definitely will have these will definitely be unhauled. And then next I have Rebel Belle by Rachel Hawkins. I remember when this first came out, everybody was like hyping this book. I've heard about this on like BookTube like way back when it came out in 2014. And yeah, everybody loved it, and I bought it because I heard like really good things about it. But then the sequel came out, and that one didn't get very good reviews, so then I kept pushing this one off, and it's still being pushed off. So yeah, I just know that I have no interest in this anymore. And I know this author also has thrillers that just came out, like 2 different thrillers. I also have those on my TBR. Those ones I am gonna keep because I've heard some good things about those ones. And I really love like thrillers and stuff now. But yeah, this one I just don't feel any interest in anymore. So I am gonna unhaul. And then the next one I have is Beautiful Disaster by Jamie McGuire. This one I'm unhauling. One, I've had this on my TBR for a really long time and just haven't read it yet. And now I just have no interest in reading it. One, because I've heard really bad things about this author now that have come out here on BookTube. So I just don't really have an interest in reading this. And I know there's also a movie coming out too, but yeah, I have no interest in, and there's so many other like romance books that I'd rather read. So this one has to go. Okay, the next 3 books I have is Anna and the French Kiss, Lola and the Boy Next Door, and Isla and the Happily Ever After. I read Anna and the French Kiss and loved it at the time when I read it. And I bought the other 2 because I just loved these covers. They were definitely a cover buy, and I just wanted it all to be matching. And I just have been pushing these off. I'm not sure why. Because like I said, I loved this one. And I actually thought about maybe keeping this one just because like nostalgia, like, and memories of reading this, but I still need to make room on my shelves for like books that are like my all-time favorites and ones that I plan on like reading. And these two I just have no interest in anymore. So they will be unhauled. The next book I have is The Smoke Thief by Sally Green. I think this is like a YA fantasy. And it kind of gives off like found family vibes, and kind of gives like the Six of Crows kind of like similarities. Maybe not like the exact same, but like it kind of like they have to go on like a quest or something, like yeah. It says, these 5 young adult lives would never intersect were it not for a stolen bottle of demon smoke. As war approaches, they must navigate a tangled web of political intrigue, shifting alliances, and forbidden love in order to uncover the dangerous truth about the strangely powerful smoke that intertwines their fate. I just, this one had like some mixed reviews and not very many. Like I haven't heard many people talking about this book. And I just have slowly lost interest in it since I got it from Book Outlet. I got it from like a Book Outlet sale, and I was drawn by like the cover. I thought it was cool, and like the title sounded cool. And I just have slowly lost interest in reading this. I can possibly be persuaded into keeping this one. If anyone has read it, please let me know down in the comments below. And let me know if it's worth keeping. Otherwise, it is definitely being unhauled. And the next book I have is I'm Thinking of Ending Things by Ian Reid. I read this last year, and I think I gave it 3 stars. So it wasn't a favorite, and I just I don't plan on rereading it at all. So I will be unhauling it. The next 2 books I have are Between the Lines and Off the Page. I read these like several years ago, and I love them. Like I love the idea of like the characters like hopping off the page, and like it was like a romance, and it was very cute. I remember loving it a lot. I just have no interest in keeping it because they weren't like all-time favorites, and I definitely think someone I want these to be in the hands of someone that will love and like appreciate them. So I will be unhauling them. The next book I have is The Woman in the Window by AJ Finn. I remember this being hyped up a lot here on like BookTube and on like TikTok a little bit because of like the movie that was coming out, and I just have no interest in reading it anymore. There's other thrillers and mysteries that I'd rather read, and I feel like some people said this was like overhyped a little bit. So yeah, I just have slowly lost interest in reading this. So I am unhauling it. And then the next book I have is Mortal Danger by Anne Aguirre. I think this is like a YA thriller or horror book. I don't know a whole lot about it. But yeah, I've had this on my TBR for a really long time. I think this is another one I got from Book Outlet as well. And just never picked it up. So, yeah, I have no interest in it anymore, so it has to go. Then the next book I have is My Heart is a Chainsaw. I know some people won't be happy with this because I know a lot of people here on BookTube love this book. But I have heard some mixed things about it. Some people hate it, some people love it. But I'm one that DNF'd it. I tried reading it back in like July of last year, and I don't remember how far I got into it. I think I was almost like 100 pages in, or maybe a little over 100 pages in, and I just was kind of bored with it, and I thought I'd want to pick it back up like later. Maybe I just thought maybe I wasn't in the right mood, but I still haven't picked it up, and I have really no interest in picking it back up. So I'm so sorry for those that love this one. But yeah, I just have no interest in this one anymore, so I have to get rid of it. Okay, these next books that I'm unhauling, the only reason I'm unhauling these is because I have other copies of them, and I am starting to realize I don't need multiple copies of books, especially for books that I haven't even read yet. And some of them, I got multiple copies because I had 2 like book subscriptions, and the same month they had the same book. And I didn't realize that until it was too late. So I had multiple copies of these books. But the first one I just have is Dr. Sleep by Stephen King. And this I have the hardcover version. This one was sent to me by mistake, I think, because I ordered the like hardcover version, but then they sent me this one instead, and I like reordered the hardcover, and I just forgot to return this, so I ended up paying for 2 copies. But I have no need for 2 copies of this book, especially since I haven't read this. I have read The Shining, but I haven't read this one yet. But yeah, I will be unhauling this one. The next book I have is Gods and Monsters by Shelby Heron. Again, this one I already have I have like a special edition of this book. And I forgot to cancel the pre-order I had of this one before I got the special edition. So I've had 2 copies in my hands for a while now, and it is time to unhaul this. The next 2 I have is Kingdom of the Curse and Kingdom of the Feared. Again, I have special editions of these books, so I don't need these copies of them anymore. So I will be unhauling them. And then next I have Together We Burn, which is a very beautiful, like, special edition. I just have another special edition of this book. I can't remember if this was from Bookish Box or from Owl Crate, because I know this is one where, like, they sent, like, the same book in the same month and didn't realize. So yeah, I have 2 copies, but yeah, this one I love the dragon scales, but like I said, I like the other special edition I have a little bit more. Like, I still love this one, and like I probably I want to keep it, but like I said, I don't need 2 copies of this book, especially since I haven't read this yet. And I want someone else to maybe have a chance to read it who maybe for like a little bit less money. So yeah, I definitely do, like, this is definitely one that I want to get to very soon because it sounds really good. Yeah, so I will be unhauling this, but yeah, I do plan on reading this still. And then the next one I have is The Dragon's Promise by Elizabeth Lim. Again, I already have another copy of this. I didn't realize I was getting this, like, a signed, like, special edition of this. Until, like, because it didn't come right on release date. And so I got this, and then, like, a couple weeks later, or maybe like a week later, I got the special edition that I somehow forgot I ordered. So I had this copy for a really long time. So I do plan on unhauling this. Again, this is another series that I really hope to get to soon, because I've heard really good things about it. So yeah, I will be unhauling this, but only because I have another copy of it. Okay, so those are all the books that I am unhauling. Like I said, I will be putting them on my Pango profile. So if you are interested in any of the books that I showed you, they will be listed there. And like I said, if I am unhauling one of your favorite books, I am so sorry. This is my, like, personal tastes, and it doesn't, like, like, these, like, aren't bad books or anything. It's just me personally, I may not have liked them, or they're not in my, like, reading tastes anymore. So yeah, I'm sorry if I unhauled a favorite of yours. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and please like and subscribe if you want to. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.